What's up, everybody? This is the JD. It is currently Saturday. What is today? It's Saturday morning, January 27th. Speaking of which, today was the day that that Texas was ordered by Department of Homeland Security to vacate the border, or there'd be repercussions. Possibly, from what I understand, possibly from what the press secretary has said a couple days ago. They're talking about federalizing our National Guard, things like that. So decided I'd get into this and we can discuss what's going on at the border. I'm gonna try to be as fair about this as I can. I mean, I live in Texas. This is definitely an issue near and dear, particularly what we're about to get into. It's my biggest issue with these things. All right. So, for those of you who don't know, Texas has been in the midst of actually hold on just a second, guys. Let's find the general story. Just to catch y'all up. I was pulling up some articles that I want to cover, but there is definitely some issues going on down there. All right, so there we go. Now we got a little bit. See, I just want to make sure to get some bro, some of these websites, boy, they just pop up, pop up, pop up. Okay. So what had happened here earlier in the year, um, Governor Abbott decided to pass Operation Lone Star, holds the line to defend the southern border. Governor Greg Abbott, Department of Public Safety, and the Texas National Guard continue to work together to secure the border, stop smuggling of drugs, weapons, and people into Texas. He basically declared that an emergency invasion clause, which we have in our state constitution. We also have protection. See, a lot of things people don't realize. See, I don't get me wrong. I'm not a legal person, but from what I understand from civics, we do have the right. Like states should. If they don't, then they should. They should have a right to defend themselves. I may not be a legal person. I can't even speak to the law on this, but I know the Supreme Court overruling a state's right to defend itself. That is completely different, in my opinion, from like other social issues. For example, Roe v. Wade. I will not even touch that topic because I have personal views and I don't think they should necessarily be imposed. This I have personal views on and they should be imposed because of these numbers right here. You know, since this is, let's see, let's read this here. Since the launch of Operate the multi-agent, so this is since the beginning of the year when we started this. We have or since last year, since we started this, deported over 12,000 migrants to Washington D.C., 37,000 New York, 31,000 Chicago. Like we're literally just moving them around the country, for one. But the bigger issue, if I can find the numbers here, I thought I saw the numbers here. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Multi-agency effort led to over 496,000 apprehensions because I don't know if y'all are aware, over the last 2 years since Biden's open border policies, we have had 300,000 crossing in just a span of 2 years. Okay? Which, I mean, wouldn't be a problem, but it comes with things like this. 38,700 criminal arrests with more than 35,000 felony charges in the fight against fentanyl crisis. Texas law enforcement seized over 454 million lethal doses of fentanyl. Okay, so as people may or may not be aware, I have some background in firefighting, EMT. I don't do it anymore, but I have background in it. And I have come across overdoses in cases like this, and it is a problem, especially here, which is why it pisses me off to no end that these northern states that don't know shit about what's going on down here want to impose their will on our citizens. Okay. And the latest on this, Attorney General Ken Paxton, not a big fan, dude. He's kind of a douchebag sometimes, but he is standing up, refuses Biden administration's demand to surrender the park and end the border. See, my problem is they're trying. Again, I know people talk the legality of the Supreme Court orders and stuff. Okay, there's legality and morality, right? I will admit, I don't 100% know the legality on this stuff, but I have definitely heard a lot of lawyers, stuff like that, discuss the legality on this issue. And it does appear that at least Texas, in our state constitution, we have the rights. I, again, if things aren't this way, this is honestly, I think, how they should be. States' rights are supposed to come first and foremost. The federal government is here to protect us first off as a nation, national security. But if they fail to protect us as they have done in Texas, then, I mean, what do you want? We have to do something. We have to protect ourselves. So, yeah. And I know one of the, let's see, let's go. Let's go look over here earlier. See, and I know there. Okay, so for example, and just so y'all know, and this is to kind of break the line. Like, I don't. There's false information. Y'all should know this by now. False information comes from both sides. Doesn't matter where you get it. Okay. One of the narratives going around right now. So we built razor wire, and the government wants to come in and take it down. Like, where do these rights end? If I'm a private citizen and I live on a border city, or if I live on a border property, which there are plenty of people that do, am I allowed to build a fence, or can the federal government say, nah, fuck you, you have to let these people come through? But no, bullshit. It's one of those cases where this moves past legality. This is a moral issue. You know, uh, Again, not saying every person coming across has ill will. I don't think anybody is saying that. Nobody on the people are like, oh, we're raceless. Trump's racist because he accuses people of being rapists. I'm like, dude, look at the numbers. Period. Look how many people are. I don't even know if I can say the word because I know YouTube censors are crazy. But look at the people that are assaulted on these caravan trips by people in the caravans, by coyotes, by cartel members. It it's a reality, you know, which now let's just ignore that reality. Let's ignore the fact that before the razor wire, I mean, people were still drowning in the Rio Grande. People are still dying trying to come here. We don't want that. We don't want dead bodies. Mexico doesn't want dead bodies. That's why Mexico is honestly with Texas on this. There are cities in Mexico that have claimed support with Texas on stopping this from happening. This is tantamount to an invasion. We have fentanyl pouring in here from China through Mexican border. Again, this ain't all Mexico's fault. I think that's stupid. That is a very reductive, thought process. The people aren't coming from Mexico. They're coming from South America. They're coming from Honduras. They're coming from hell, China. There's China smuggling going through Mexico into the southern border because they know how weak our border is. That's why we said we've had enough and we're going to build the razor wire. And honestly, it terrifies the hell out of me because the government's going to force us into a position where, right now you already see it. I've seen the CNN headlines. I've seen the left calling out like, oh, we're going to civil war. Greg Abbott wants a civil war. Nobody wants a war, but we are tired of pussyfooting around. Like, we have to be able to protect ourselves, our democracy, our country. So, but these are kind of my takes on the border thing, and I just wanted to cover it real quick while it was relevant because I saw it in the news this morning. They said we have till today, so we'll see what happens today. Hopefully, hopefully hopefully, man, dude. Oh, golly, I'm really, really hoping the Biden administration can back off of this. Like, this is not a fight that we want to pick because y'all got to at least agree, whoever's right or wrong in this is a very serious issue, and this is something that can result in war. And I don't think anybody would want a repeat of that. The most bloody, American battle in history, is Civil War. We don't want this. Nobody wants that. So we have got to get our shit together. Let the states protect themselves. Quit being a dick. And honestly, you would think they wouldn't be doing this so close to election, but I mean, it's like they're just throwing the election away. It's like I, I would have sympathy for Democrats, but like, can y'all not give us something viable? You give us Biden, you give us Hillary, you give us a traitor, and you give us a vegetable. Like, come on, dude. But we have got to get this resolved before we just devolve into chaos. So my plea, if anybody on the left sees this, man, share this around. We have got to have unity. We cannot keep fighting over this shit. Protecting our country is important.